Hi, hello, my friends. How are you? Happy 21 of December. It's a good day today. Every day is a good day, but today has a special meaning. I have already posted something related to what's going on today, and it's the Great Conjuncture, and there is a lot of things happening in the sky. This is the simplest way to put it. But here today, we're gonna talk, and the energy is high, is really high, and it's good to do some learning. Okay, well, as I promised you last week and last Monday, so this is our first Money Day talk. So you are really oh, this is Georgia. She's here. I'm gonna add her to the hi, Georgia. How are you? We're live already. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for joining me today in our first official Money Day talk. Georgia is a coach and a mentor, and she has very substantive knowledge about the being entrepreneur and how to help ourselves to get the best or healthy entrepreneurial mindsets. She's gonna share with us some relevant knowledge and information today. Thank you, Georgia, for taking the time to join me today. Yeah, Osama is saying, hello, Najwa. Hello, Osama. Osama is telling me Money Day is every day, which is absolutely right. I don't think there is anymore a day where without having the need to use money or think about money or, deal with money. So this is why I thought of really coming here, guys, every Monday and to talk about a little bit about this money matter. Raising our awareness, because we need that, right? Okay, so I will start with like today from lesson 1 from this book, and I chose this book among the other 3 because most of you guys picked this book. I love it. It's really nice, and even though I'm gonna do the a little bit of summary every Monday from this, but I really advise you to go and get it and read it. So this guy, Robert, is he talks about his own story with money and how he got raised with 2 dads. Actually, the poor dad is his real dad, his biological dad, and the rich dad is the dad of his friend. And at the very early age, 9 years old, he started asking about money because he saw his mom and dad running days and nights to get, a salary to cover their expenses. And he also was watching other kids where they are having more money, how he labeled it, than what they had. So he went to his poor dad, which is his real dad, and asked him, how can I make money? How can I get rich? And here his dad, okay, I want to make the best way to simplify it, guys. So what I did is like a comparison between the poor dad, rich dad, and this our first episode of Money Day. So the rich dad, which is his friend's dad, was not an educated man. Okay, he only got reached the 8th grade and he stopped school. While the poor dad, which is the real dad of Robert, had a PhD from one of the most important, like noticeable university in the States, and he used to work as a teacher in a university. Hi Nora, hi Irene, nice to have you guys, ladies here. So the poor dad had an 8th grade and like not educated, while the had an PhD, while the rich dad had 8th grade. So both dad worked hard. Okay, the poor dad, the real dad, used to work for long hours in the university teaching, and he was well paid, but again, he had a lot of struggles with paying bills, with time, with mortgage, with taxes, always struggling with money. The rich dad had also worked hard, okay? But the difference between those two dads is that the poor dad didn't learn about money matters. All what he did is just he did his PhD, he went to school, he earned very good degree, but he didn't learn about money matters. While the rich dad spent hours and days and nights learning about money matters and practicing and working on the mindset to get those knowledge built into his mind. So what the poor dad taught his son, Robert, is that, like, I was taught the same. I said, sorry, Dad, apparently you're a poor dad. Because he taught me that I had to study hard, and so I can find a good company and to hire me, and then I can secure a job. All right. So while the rich dad taught his son that you have to study hard, it's fine, but you have to go and find a good company to buy. See the difference? I was raised the same. I don't know you guys who are following. Anybody was raised in a way to grow up and think of buying a company or starting his or her own business? I like to hear from you and to hear. Personally, I don't know about you, Georgia. Personally, my dad told me, he sent me to very good universities, and he invested in my education, honestly, because he wanted me to have a secure job and I don't struggle financially. Although he had also, he's a teacher, and my mom and dad are teacher, and they have, I can say they struggled with money because they were chasing money from a salary to a salary, right? This is what we do. So the nice thing is, also, this is a nice learning here, guys, for us. The poor dad thought that if he buys a house, the house is an asset, is like where all his big investment went. So he was investing and spending money in a house, while the rich dad considers that buying a house or going into paying a mortgage is a liability. And here, I don't know, just in a very simple way, liability, it means something where you need to keep paying for. Okay, so like a mortgage, car loans, anything. So this is a liability, while an asset is an item that brings you money. Okay, so the poor dad thought that buying his house is an asset, and he put all his investment in this house, while the rich dad thought once that buying a house or putting my whole investment in a house is a liability and is not wise. So he preferred to put his money, his investment, in an asset. And we'll talk later about what he did. Also, the poor dad taught himself and his son, okay, to write an impressive CV. And this has made me laugh because I spent long years writing CVs, good CVs. I became very good in writing CVs. So he taught himself and his son how to write CVs, like a curriculum vitae. So to go and submit his impressive CV to good companies, so to get a good job. While the rich dad, he learned how to write good business plans. And he studied and he worked on understanding the return on investment. All right. So this is very important point. I'm working on it, and it helped me shift drastically my mindset when I understood something called return on investment. Why he did that? So he can create jobs. Can we see the difference? So one was he was preparing himself to go and find a job and going to someone to a company to hire him, while the other one was working on creating a job for someone who can come work for him and he can make the money. So this is really like, there is a huge difference between these two approaches. Okay. Here it's also like the poor dad was always scared of getting broke. Yeah. And this is, I think, a very common worry and anxiety in the majority of people. and I was one of them, that being broke stopped and put sticks in the wheel of many people who like to do a business or do a change in their life. But the fact of being scared of getting broke, what if it doesn't work? What if I lost the investment that I put? Stop them. While the rich dad, even he thinks, this is how he thinks and this is how he lives. Even when getting flat broke after a major financial setback, he refers himself as a rich man. Why? Because he considers that being broke is temporary, while being poor is eternal. Can you see the difference? I love that because it's true. It's true. If we're broke, there is hope that you means you were once rich. And once you were rich, it means you can still go and you have the structure, the infrastructure and the basics and the knowledge to work something new again and make money and get rich again. While being poor or having a financial struggle is eternal if we don't take a new action. So there is no hope. Like if you're only rely on a job, let's say, there is no hope you can get more than this salary, right? So it's gonna be forever getting this same amount of money, right? And here I want to just finish with the last point between doing the difference between those two dads. The rich dad encourages his son to do the following steps to be rich. And we will be talking in the other episodes about these steps. First step, I told him, study and understand, study and understand how money works. The first point. Second point, take action to have money work for you. So first you have to understand how it works. But if you understand how it works and you don't do anything about it, so it's not going to lead you anywhere. So he taught him that you have to take action to make money work for you. And here I like what I like also about this book is the reality that is in there. And he spoke a lot about the rat race. Being someone who has been in a job for 15 plus years and being raised by mom and dad who were also in a job until they retired, and they are now till now wait for their retirement salary. I think there is a lot of reality in that because Robert talked about the rat race, that when you work, when you have a job, only a job, you end up, you wake up, you get up, you go to work, you pay your bills, you come home, you get up, you go to work, you pay your bills. So this is a rat race. And in reality, what's going on is that you don't work for, you work for an organization, for an owner of a corporate, of a firm. You work for the government to pay the taxes, and you work for a bank to pay your mortgage and your loans, which is absolutely true. I don't know if you have different opinion, but I can't agree more with that because I lived in this. I've seen most of the people around me living into this, going into this rat race, And he considers that if we worked for money, because what makes us go to work every day is we want the money. So we're looking at the money. The money is the destination, all right? So we will end up our life earning much less than what we deserved. And you know why? And I'm sure you're gonna agree with me, because after 1 year or 2 years in a job, immediately you feel you need a promotion. Immediately you feel you're not well appreciated in this job. Immediately you start feeling, and you deserve more appreciation. You deserve better working conditions. So either you swallow this bitterness and live with it, or you start going, checking, finding another job where you feel you are a little bit more appreciated. And then the same cycle, after 2 years in the same job, you go and you feel again you're not happy because you're not well appreciated, because the money is not what you deserve. This is sad. This is real. I've been through this. I used to go after like 2-3, even when you work for the best organization in the world, after 2-3 years, let's say, if not from the first year, you start feeling that I deserve more, I deserve better conditions. And what we do, instead of searching for solution, we start blaming the boss. We start blaming the system, we start blaming the company or the organization, and we end up saying, what is this life? Like, we get upset at life at its all, and we go into this kind of I like to call it bitterness, like living with it for long years. And I want you guys to open your eyes to the rat race and have a look at it in your mind, do a flashback, think about people who are in it already. And he also advised his children, and he talks about the getting good grades and finding a job for a career is not a wise advice if we want the financial independence, if we want to be, let's call it this word, rich. And here, rich, it's not about having rich, very important to understand the word rich. Many people, even when they make millions per year, they still sometimes struggle with money, because it's not only about making money, it's about managing the money, it's about understanding how money works. So when we call stock rich, I'm not talking on those, like I talk about those who really know how to handle money matters. So and he also insists, and I agree with this, I talked about it in my first episode, that you cannot get financial literacy in schools. In schools, they will teach you everything except that. And what you're supposed to do is, when you finish your school, is to go and start handling financial issues, because you have to pay for everything, right? You have to start dealing with real life. So this is why he's like, he very important, this get good education does not mean be able to face the world and be equipped to be financially independent. And this is very important and eye-opening message, because if we sometimes we feel, oh, I have a master's degree in this, oh, I have a master's degree, even an MBA, he says, and he talks that it does not mean you are financially independent, because even bankers go into financial struggles sometimes, and they go into debt, and they go into really struggling about and the way in handling money in real life. So and the main cause, I want to end up with this, because the main cause of financial struggle is fear and ignorance, not the economy or the government or the rich. Because we have this belief, and we also, I don't know, how did you grow up, what you were told when you were in your early years, but I heard it many times that money is the root of all evil. I don't know if you heard this. While when I grew up and started reading about it, and I faced life, and I talked to people, I talked to so many people in my life, and I really agree with the rich dad who says lack of money can be the root of all evil. Because when we don't have to worry about our bills, we can relax and think of other things and can handle life in a different way. So it's not the government, it's not the economy, it's not those who are rich that we struggle financially. It's exactly our fear and our ignorance. And this is easy because we can address them, and there is a solution to face fear and to build knowledge, so we cover our ignorance, we can learn. And yeah, if you want to win, guys, if we want to win, we have to face the fear of losing and be more and stick and be more excited, and let the excitement of winning greater than the fear of losing. There will always be fear. Definitely, we're humans, and fear is helpful to avoid problems. But we should not let fear of losing, okay, be greater than the excitement of winning. So here again, we're gonna talk about all this in the next episodes, about how you make money work for you. And this is what our next episode, next Money Day, will be about. Thank you for following. I don't know if my message was clear. If you have other opinion, if you disagree, if you have any like tips, please share it, because it's not a one-way chat. It's I want you to engage with us and talk and address this important topic. So, and now I give the mic to Georgia, who please, Georgia, can you introduce yourself a little bit, and the mic is yours.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Sarah. God bless you. I love the way you explained that, by the way. So true. I'll touch on those points after I introduce myself. So I'm Georgia Williams, obviously. I'm a coach and a mentor. I own an online business. I'm expanding exponentially. I just got 2 business partners to help me grow in this business. And I'm working with people, a lot of people all over the world. And beforehand, my story was a little bit different. I had a brick and mortar business. Mm-hmm. I was running my business from 10 a.m., even earlier sometimes, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., till 9 p.m. at night at times, 10 p.m. at night. I was a workaholic. I was very successful, and I didn't know about investing, really. And I have 5 children now. Back then I had 2 children, and I was not really there for my children. I had nannies, and we had takeout, and it was just work. Never enjoy what you're paying for, and yeah, kind of was in the rat race. even though I owned, because I had constantly overheads and stuff. So I'm here in Kamloops, BC. I lived in Toronto, Ontario before. I'm here in Kamloops, BC. It's beautiful here. I love it. Living my dreams, living in a beautiful little paradise. And yeah, that's who I am. I'm totally on the same kind of mindset that Sarah is on right now. I learned a lot, especially since the last couple of years, especially since starting this online business. I've been surrounded by millionaires and millionaire mindsets and reading books. And they say the average person reads 1 book a year, but the average CEO, the average billionaire reads about 60 books a year. That's 60 times what the average person reads. And that is why they're so quick in your mind. So yeah, that's who I am. So is there anything you want me to touch on, or you just want me to, I can give a little feedback on what you read and stuff?
Yeah, no, I like to why is there an echo?
Is there an echo? Okay, maybe I'll mute myself when you talk.
Okay, so no, just want to, and here the goal of this this series that I'm really enjoying to share with you guys is to say that we can talk about money, and we should not feel ashamed of any story that we had with money or still have with money, because the only way to solve a problem is to put the light on it. And this is why I'm gonna talk as much as possible about my story with money. Like, I'm gonna always disclose how I went through, like how I developed with dealing like the topic with money, and this is why also I like you, Georgia, and I know you don't mind if you have like, how was your like in the big before, when you started at early age your first work, and then when you worked with different companies, how like your experience with money? Do you have any like nice thing, like, or your personal story with that? Because I'm sure we all do.
Okay, yeah. So I've always had my own business, and I was with my family's business. So that's why I was brought up: run your own business. And so it kind of was just, make as much money as you can and save money. And my mother and father never really taught me or schooling how to save money, what to invest, what to do. It was the same thing, like you said, buy a home and buy a car and, just provide for yourself, buy yourself nice things. There was no investment. There was no assets. It was just like you said, it was only things that would cause you to either be in debt or you have to pay liabilities, right? So all that time, me growing up and all the money I made, I was very, very successful. Guess what happened? It all got spent because there was times that fluctuated up and down in my life, and times I moved away from Toronto for a better life for my children. I tried to start my business here in Kamloops, BC, and I could not get it back to where it was in Toronto. I brought it here on a smaller scale. It kind of, just leveled out, right? They say that if it's just level out, if it's just a straight line, your business is dead, right? They say, what is it when your heart stops? It's a dead line. You want it to go up and up and up. You want it to make those, those spirals up, so that way you can succeed. So you can only do better. So yeah, long story short, I spent a lot of my savings, and I became in debt, and it was not fun, right? It was not fun. So when I came across, working online and starting my own business online, and I realized about investments, I realized about, the culture of just having assets and not having things that are just going to keep taking and taking and taking. The dream of buying a house was so my dream up and before a couple of years ago, like owning a big, huge $1 million, couple $1 million house. Okay, that was my dream, and having this and having that and having this. And as I realized and looked at my past and looked at my current situation, and as I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and as I read Grant Cardone, 10X Rules, and as I followed these people, and as I just kept reading more and more articles, and just kept becoming more and more knowledgeable, I realized I do not want to buy a house anymore. I do not want to buy a car. I want to lease a house. I want to lease a beautiful home. I want to lease a beautiful car. I want to invest my money into assets and things that are going to give me a turnaround. So what do? I invest a lot into my business. What do? I think about what I'm going to invest into the future to hire my income and me generating money, the more I'm going to invest. So when you say that you're rich and you have all this money, your money's no good to you if you have $1 million in the bank. What good is that? To me, if right now, whatever I have, I'm going to invest it. I'm not going to let it sit there because that money is just going to burn. I want to invest it and keep on reinvesting. I was watching a podcast of somebody who's so successful, has a $2.2 net billion company. Okay. But they said, I don't have any money in my pocket. He's like, I just put everything into my new investment. That's right. And that's what you continue to do. Because when you want to live that beautiful life, when you want to feel freedom, when you want to feel like, oh my goodness, I can go here, I can go there, I'm free, I'm not tied down. You have all of this wonderful, beautiful assets that's just going to keep on bringing you more and more. And the higher that you receive from these assets, the more money it generates, the more money it brings into your bank. You don't want to leave it. You want to continue to reinvest it. And you want to reinvest it smart. You want to be careful. There's a lot of strange things out there, right? You gotta do your due diligence. You gotta look into things. And the first thing is just like what we're doing right now, just like what Sarah's doing right now. Watch things, watch podcasts, watch YouTube, read a book, read an incredible book that has 5 stars, and it's one of the best sellers. Like, look into things to get your mindset in the right state, to be knowledgeable about money, to be knowledgeable about investments. Like Robert Kiyosaki, the way he bought his first house, oh my goodness, like it was like a loan, and then it was all of a sudden he gained like $40,000 out of nowhere, and he just kept going and going and going, and he wasn't looking for just a fancy car or just a fancy suit. He knew what he was going to do, and he got that afterwards. So don't think right now of the the small time frame. Oh, I want that beautiful house right now, and I want that beautiful car right now. I want to because my family has it, or my neighbor has it, or I just want to show everybody what I'm capable of. No, no, no. Prove to yourself what you're capable of. You don't have to own these things. There's a little saying: if it has one door, rent it. If it has many doors, buy it, because you can rent it to many people, and it could be an asset to you. Okay, so that's the way I look at things right now, and I know my knowledge is so powerful and such a big asset to me now that I have this knowledge. Because what am I going to do now? I know I'm going to succeed above and beyond whatever it is. And guess what? Behind me succeeding, it's not just that I want to get rich. It's not just that I want to do this for myself. Behind me succeeding, I have a wonderful goal. I have a plan to help many people worldwide to become woke, to see what we're seeing on a spiritual level, on a financial level, on a level where they can be confident and positive and be who they want to be and follow their dreams in life without the world telling them you can't, without them having suppressed issues of their family telling them money's the root of all evil, just like Sara said. You can't do that. You can't be that rock star. You can't be that guitarist. You can't be that artist. You cannot be a public speaker, whatever it is. They suppress these things and they put it in their hearts, and they don't realize they're remembering it, but it's causing them to not follow their dreams. And I want to help the world. Honestly, I'm like that. I want to save the world. I want to go to these countries that have so much poverty and set them up to a point where it's not just giving them money for food. No, I want to set them up to the proper building of a foundation where they can have generating an income and jobs and housing, and people from that area building houses and getting paid, and then people from that area living in those homes and working together. There's so much poverty in the world, and there's so much of an incredible outlook I have for the future, and that's my drive. So if you have a good cause behind you getting rich, behind you becoming successful, guess what? You're going to go above and beyond. Robert Kiyosaki, he wants to change the world. He wants to make that movement, and he did. Back in the 80s, he made that movement. Back in the 80s and 90s, he's showing the world something different. Same thing with Tony Robbins. Same thing with Daniel. Same thing with Grant Cardone. All these people are making movements to show people another way, to show people your feelings, your heart. Go what you truly want.
And here I like these people that you talked about, Georgia. Guys, listen to this. They are normal people like me, Georgia, like you guys. They were not born famous and with millions in their bank accounts. No, they simply, and here I like to bring this back, they didn't let the fear of losing be greater than the excitement of winning. They were so excited about their passion, about winning, about changing the world. And because I know now some of you, their thinking is going towards, oh, they have millions of dollars, so definitely they can change the world. But they were not born like this. If you go and read about their stories, they were really maybe in a worse situation than most of the people were. And here, so this is this kind of limiting belief that we need to have first the thing so we can move. This is absolutely wrong, and I want every single person to go and read about people who changed the world, that at that time when they started, they had literally nothing.
100%. It talks about Grant Cardone, like he had nothing. He was on drugs. He was a pushy salesman, and he didn't like his job. And, he started to look at things differently all of a sudden. His life changed. He had an awakening, and he hasn't stopped since. Same thing with Robert Kiyosaki. He knew as a kid he did not want to live that life. He started as a little kid trying to do silly little things with toothpaste caps and everything, and trying to make money, and he had such a drive. But these people are born with a drive. Let me tell you, they look at things and they look at things differently. And we are all born with that drive. But what sets us apart from these people who are succeeding above and beyond is, like Sara said, our disbelief. We don't believe we can achieve what they're achieving. Why? We're all human. We're all from the same God. We all can do whatever it is we want to do as long as we put our mindset to it and we believe in ourselves and we don't let nothing stop us. There's a book that we are advised to read in our business community, and it's called The Magic. It's called, and Rhonda Byrne is the one who wrote it. See, there's another one, Helping Your Mindset. She talks about gratitude. And I was watching a podcast with her. She talks about jumping over your mind. She says, you know how the saying is jump over the moon? Ever since I heard that saying, I kind of looked at it differently. She said, I know I got to jump over my mind, which means your mind is going to tell you, don't do that, scared, fear, don't. But your spirit and your heart is saying, do it. Go for it. I want this dream. I'm going to be so successful. I'm going to do everything I can possibly do. I see myself walking on the beach with my soulmate, with my children. I see everything going incredible. I see that big acreage. I see that dream home. I see me being so happy. I see my kids doing this. That's what you see. Whatever you see, there's a desire in you. That desire is put in you for a reason. All of these people were ordained to be who they were before they even came here. Let's just say that. You were also. Don't stop your destiny. Don't block what you're meant to do. Go forward and take that step. Take that leap. Find out what you can do to make it happen for yourself, to invest, to follow that dream. And you have to be careful. You have, like I said, you have to do your due diligence. You don't want to just throw a whole bunch of money at something and not understand what you're throwing it at. You have to understand what you're doing in this life. Yeah, there is things out there that's not trustable. Let's just put it that way. I've heard it. I've seen it, especially in the online world. So you have to make sure you're doing things properly, right?
Right, absolutely. If we have like, wow, time went fast, but I want you to give us 3 tips for healthy entrepreneurial mindset. And I know you already like have more than 3 tips, but if you want to choose now only 3 tips that we can start implementing or opening our eyes to these tips, to these points. So yeah.
Okay. Number one to start with, start watching and following somebody who piques an interest to you. Somebody who knows business, who knows the entrepreneur mindset, somebody who you look up to. I'm talking about either a public figure, just like the few people we talked about, people who are talking about how to get your finances right, your assets right. Okay, how to do that. That's number one. And what I'm going to explain to you is what I do. So, for instance, I'm a mom of 5. I'm very busy. I'm a business owner, and I am mentoring and coaching people all over the world. Like I'm extremely busy, but I love it. I love it. I fit everything into it. I have my schedule. I have my organization in some crazy way of being a mom of 5, right? But throughout the day, when I first wake up, the first thing I do is I actually thank God for everything. I thank God for everything. And after that, when I'm getting ready for the day, I put on a podcast, or I put on a spiritual mindset video on YouTube, something that's going to explain to me, something that's going to motivate me, something that's going to tell me, you know what, your mindset is what's going to cause you to fail if you don't keep it right. Jump over that mind, succeed above and beyond. We are great and powerful human beings. In fact, we're not even of this world. So many people could sit here and talk with me on another spiritual level. Maybe we'll start doing that one. But you have to understand, God put us here. And if you don't believe in God, the creator of the universe, he put us here. And he gave us power, strength. Our minds can move mountains. We can do greater works than Jesus did if we believe. Okay? There's so many things out there, hidden messages, that if we just believe what we can do and believe in ourselves and have no doubt, then we can do it. So how you do that is you condition your mind. You get rid of those old habits. You remove those suppressed issues and those those family over and over. Money's the root of all evil. You're never going to be that. Oh, that's stupid. Get a job. Oh, you're never, you're a bum. You're never going to follow this. Oh, he's an artist or this or that. Get rid of all those beliefs and start and how you're going to do that is you're going to pretty much reassess your mind, and you're going to watch all of these podcasts. You're going to follow, like Jake Ducey is one of the ones I follow. I love Bob Proctor, and all these podcasts, Lewis Hose. There's these people that I watch on a regular basis. And like I said, I always follow, I watch inspirational. I'm always looking for something inspirational. And we talked about the people who are always discussing money, which is Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, Dan Yoke. There's all these people. So just look them up. Watch that every morning. I watch it while I'm getting ready. Throughout the day, if I'm doing something and the kids are playing and they're not with me, because I like to concentrate on the children too. But if they're not with me, I'll listen to something. I'll listen to another podcast. I'll listen to again and again and again, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I love that book and the 10X Rules. Those are my two books that I really love. So when I really like something, I listen to it over and over and over again. But I'm reading other books too. So do that throughout the day whenever you get time. Even sometimes when I'm with the kids, I'll listen to something that is going to help my mindset. Okay, like something, the affirmations. You are, I am receiving an incredible income. Money comes to me easily. I am deserving. Everything I touch turns to gold. These affirmations, just listen to something that keeps saying it and it gets into your head. And it's just something that you could just listen to with the family and they will also catch on to it. Number 2, write down your goals as if you already received them. Some of the most incredible millionaires isn't so rich these days. Billionaires. You want to be a billionaire. If you're going to go for something, go for it high. Write down your goal as if you already received it. So if you want to be making $1 million this year, I made, and I like to put I'm grateful, because whatever you're grateful for, you receive an abundant more. I am grateful. I received $1 million this year. And if you just don't hit that, that's okay. You go below $1 million. At least you was getting to that goal. At least you're just below it. I am, and it could be even things about your lifestyle. I am a great wife to this person, or I'm grateful to be living in this incredible multi-million-dollar home. I'm grateful to be having assets that continue to bring in $300,000 a month. Whatever it is, whatever your goals are. Start small, start big, whatever it is. Keep going. Now I'm going to tell you something. When you write down something powerful happens. It's set on that book. You know it's there. Okay? I write so many things. This is my book, and I picked it up, and this is the first one I see. It says, ask for what you want and prepare to get it. Now, when I see it as two different things, ask for what you want and be prepared to get it in your mind. Believe that you're going to receive it. And also, be prepared that you're going to get it is get knowledgeable, get smart, get to know your stuff. Be prepared. Because if you're not prepared when an opportunity comes for it your way, you're not even going to know what to do with it, and you're not going to understand how great it is. So get to be knowledgeable. So when opportunities come knocking your way, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I know about this. It's going to be incredible. Okay, number 3. Never, ever, ever make that goal tiny, because you're going to surpass it, and you're going to wish that you made that goal even bigger. You're going to wish that you put that goal. For instance, like I talked about the $1 million. If you're thinking, I want to make $500,000 this year, say, no. I want to make $1 million this year. And you give yourself that drive. You push yourself to go above and beyond. You're doing whatever you can. Mind you, integrity-based. Mind you, transparency. Mind you, don't jump over people. Keep your integrity, right? But you don't care what it takes. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going. And you're going to stay up late, and you're going to do things, and you're going to sacrifice some spending out with your friends and nights out. Well, it's pandemic anyway, so you got lots of time on your hands. But you're going to sacrifice sometimes sleep. You're going to sacrifice scrolling around on social media or whatever. You're going to make it happen, right? And all of a sudden you're like, I made $900,000. He was 100,000 short of $1 million. How incredible is that? You didn't make 500,000. You was like, no, that's a petty goal. But you made 900,000. Don't ever lower your goals, and don't ever go backwards. Don't ever pull back from what it is that you're going towards. If you see that it's not quite working, put more effort and time and action to it. There's a saying that, you know, sometimes people always, it's almost dominant, and it's almost 100%, that every time a company CEO, car dealerships, businesses, whatever it is, they always underestimate how much time and effort, and even at times money and people they need to reach out to. They always underestimate how much that will be to succeed and to get to their goal. So what they do is they instead they pull back. They don't go forward. They're thinking, okay, we're not succeeding, so we must pull back. And we must stop what we're doing and stop putting that effort and think, okay, that goal's not meetable. Let's make it, instead of, you know, making 100K this month in our business, let's go down to 50. We're not making it. No, don't do that. Instead, if it's not working out halfway in that month, put more emails out there, put more phone calls, call your leads, text your leads, get in call with people on the phone, get those workers to continue to make more cold calls, or get more of an advertisement out there. Go big, make a huge statement out there, what you have and how you're going to be coming back, and whatever it is, just go forth with more effort. So never back down with that goal. Just continue to focus on it.
Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, Georgia. These topics are so wide. We can talk hours and hours, especially when we do it from our heart, out of really compassion, to share what we learned, what we went through. And we already surpassed the time, big time. So I have to close. I hope you enjoyed it. And I want to just close with something that, like, this is what I'm gonna be tackling in next week more, that money is related to our emotions, and emotions are related to our money, and not only to money, to everything. So all at the end of the story, it's all about how we feel about it. And yes, you might be like a little bit surprised when I tell you your emotions and money are directly linked, and this is gonna be really something important to learn, how they are linked and how you can control, when having control over your emotions, you can have very good control over your money. So this is a juicy topic. I hope you share, you join us in it. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much, Georgia, and I promise to always come here and share from our journey, because as I said once, and now Georgia said again, we're gonna be billionaires very soon, and I don't want you to think that we are born billionaires. So we want to involve you in our journey and tell you, yes, we are like you. We're learning, we're working hard on getting a different mindset, so, and we to change ourselves first so we can change our lives. And it's feasible. We're not the first one who are doing it. Many before us did it, many will be doing it. So let's have fun and enjoy this life journey and do the most, more learning and more understanding. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you guys for watching and joining us today.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.